a day for a year, in Hebrew Yom lashanah. The Bible gives that rule in exactly 2 verses, and both times it says it twice. Yom lashanah, Yom lashanah. Like a measurement repeated, so nobody mishears it. For 3 centuries, Protestant readers walked Revelation through those 2 verses, 1,260 days becoming 1,260 years. 3 questions then. How do 2 verses turn days into centuries? Why did nearly every Protestant for 300 years read Revelation the same way? And why have you never heard of it? And what happens when the rule finally names one day, October 22nd, 1844? That's where we're going. First, the answer. Historicism reads Revelation as one continuous timeline of church history, John's day to the end, no gap, and its engine is the day-year rule of Numbers 14:34 and Ezekiel 4:6. We compared all 4 in the timeline video. Today we walk the third, once the Protestant standard, now the one almost nobody can name. So the first question, how do 2 verses turn days into centuries? Numbers 14. The spies scout Canaan 40 days. The sentence falls. 40 years in the wilderness, a day for the year, a day for the year. Then Ezekiel 4. The prophet on his side beside a clay model of Jerusalem, 40 days for Judah's guilt, and the formula doubles again. 2 verses, 4 sayings. 1 rule if it is a rule. Critics call them 2 sentences, not a system. Elsewhere, 70 years of exile meant 70 years. Historicists answer with Daniel 9, where nearly every tradition reads the 77s as years. At one address in Scripture, almost everyone counts a day for a year. The argument, may you do it everywhere. Now open Revelation. Its darkest stretch runs 1,260 days. Part 1 counted all 5 stamps. Run the rule, and days become centuries. Once you own a key like that, what do you do with it? 300 years of Protestants had an answer. Which brings back the second question. Why did nearly every Protestant for 300 years read Revelation the same way? The method came from a friend of the Pope's. Around 1190, the abbot Joachim of Fiore drew Revelation as a map of history. His heirs turned the map against Rome. By 1383, John Wycliffe set Pope against Christ in writing, and in 1415, Jan Hus burned at Constance holding it. A century before Luther, this reading already had its dead. Luther began by pushing the book away. His 1522 preface calls Revelation neither apostolic nor prophetic. My spirit cannot accommodate itself to this book. 8 years later, a second preface. Now the book maps the church's whole story, ending, Christ is with his saints and wins the victory at last. Between the 2 prefaces, an excommunication, an imperial ban, a life under sentence. The reading didn't grow at a desk. It grew under pressure. Then came the Confessions. The smalcald articles of 1537 call the Pope the very Antichrist. Calvin wrote the same into the Institutes, yet never a commentary on Revelation. In 1646, the Westminster Confession fixed it. The Pope is that Antichrist. Hold the other bookend. In 1903, the Presbyterian Church in the USA took that clause back out of its version. We report both edits, we renew neither. Rome answered with scholarship, not silence. In 1590, the Jesuit Francisco Ribera moved the beast to one future figure, the seed of Part 1. In 1614, Louis de Alcazar seeded Part 2. A debate, not a plot. Part 1 met Irenaeus expecting a future Antichrist in the year 180. Now the reading needed dates, and dates can be checked. The tradition's favorite start was 538, when a Gothic siege of Rome broke and the papacy, as they counted it, stood free. In honesty, the war ran on, and the start date became standard only after the end date arrived. Defenders call that confirmation, critics back calculation. This math had one calculator, you know. Isaac Newton's observations appeared in 1733, after his death. His private papers hold one version of the sum, 1,260 years from 800, ending in 2060. Not a prediction, he insisted, a rebuke to rash guessers. And the book itself warns, the folly of interpreters has been to foretell times and things by this prophecy. Hold that warning. It has an appointment in upstate New York. First, its greatest hour. February 1798. The French general Berthier marches into Rome without a battle. Pius VI, 80 years old, refuses to surrender his rule and dies a prisoner in France. Across Europe, readers of this tradition reach for their Bibles and count. 538 plus 1260 is 1798. Within the year, Edward King published the sum in London, newspaper on one side, Daniel on the other. For the first time, the rule seemed on time, which leaves the most dangerous question a rule can face. If it explains the past, may it name the future. Which brings us to the question we promised. What happens when the rule finally names one day, October 22nd, 1844? William Miller farmed at Low Hampton, New York. 2 winters at the kitchen table, Bible and concordance, verse by verse from Genesis 1. In Daniel 8 he met the number 2,300 days. Then shall the sanctuary be cleansed, the King James's word. The Hebrew says set right, and Miller read the earth itself, made right at Christ's return. Daniel 9 handed him the start. 77's cut off. Nechdak, a word found once in the Hebrew Bible, counted from the decree to restore Jerusalem, 457 B.C. 2,300 day years from 457. No year 0. Land in 1844. The answer frightened him. He kept it private for 13 years. Then a Boston publisher, Joshua Himes, made it national. Some 50,000 camp meetings under the stars. Miller never named a day. His window, March 21, 1843 to March 21, 1844. The window closed. In print, I confess my error and acknowledge my disappointment. That August, a preacher named Samuel Snow carried the count to one day, October 22nd. The date wasn't Miller's. The movement ran with it. That night, the Millers waited on their farm. Legend tells of white robes on the hillsides. Miller called those reports scandalous and false. The sources hold something quieter. Henry Emmons, I waited all Tuesday, and dear Jesus did not come. Hiram Edson, we wept and wept till the day dawned. The movement's own name, the Great Disappointment. Children in the streets called, have you a ticket to go up? A church in Ithaca burned to the ground. The people who were wrong that night were also the ones who got hurt. Hiram Edson's circle reread Daniel that morning and concluded the date was right, but the event was heavenly. A reading their heirs, the Seventh-day Adventists, hold to this day. We're not the referee. So the second question can close. Why have you never heard of it? It died at its summit. In 1844, the very year E.B. Eliot published its most learned defense, 4 volumes, 10,000 references. After 1870, hardly any major denomination kept the charts, and you already saw 1903. But the calculator's chapter refuses to end on a chart. Daniel 12 counts 1,290 days, then 1,335, then closes with a blessing, Ashrei Hamchike. Blessed is the one who waits, not the one who solves it, the one who waits. 3 weeks after the great disappointment, Miller wrote to Himes, "I have fixed my mind upon another time, and that is today, today, and today until he comes." Part 1 ended on new, Part 2 on witness, this one on the one who waits. The rule turned days into centuries. The verse beside the numbers turns counting into waiting. A question for you: which surprised you more, Newton doing this math in private or a confession editing itself? Comment Yom Lashanah if the day-year rule was new to you. Part 4 takes the reading that says the timeline was never the point. Meanwhile, there are more videos right here. We go deep, but not complicated.